Cowboys news, Cam Newton ranks Dak Prescott above several high-profile QBs. The latest news surrounding the Dallas Cowboys is here. Former NFL MVP Cam Newton has plenty of opinions about current quarterbacks and isn't afraid to make them known. On the latest episode of his 4th and 1 podcast, starts at 1 hour 40 minutes and 50 seconds mark, Newton said he would take Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, and Trevor Lawrence. The subject came up as Prescott is entering the final season of his current contract with the Dallas Cowboys and is seeking a new deal. Newton and his co-host were running down the list of highest-paid quarterbacks in the league to determine where Prescott should slot in. Hurts, Herbert, Cousins, and Lawrence have all signed new contracts within the past 15 months. Murray signed his 5-year, $230.5 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals in July 2022. Even though Prescott has been criticized for his lack of playoff success, Newton pointed out some of those other quarterbacks are among the highest paid in the NFL and haven't fared much better than the Cowboys star. How he got here, his journey to the role of Cowboys receiver is one filled with challenges that he's overcome, working his way up from Central Missouri and then a stint with Iowa Western Community College to earning conference honors in his first season with Southeast Missouri State, where he started in 11 games and led the entire team with 984 receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, 7, and receiving yards per game, 89.5, again, in his first year with that program. His 4.44-second 40-yard dash only further illustrates the point regarding his athleticism, as does his 39 1/2-inch vertical, 89th percentile, 132 broad jump, 94th percentile, and his 19 bench reps, 83rd percentile, indicate he's not only fast and quick, but packs some serious strength in his 6'1", 202 pounds frame. Flournoy absolutely destroyed the NFL combined tests. What's next? When the Cowboys went on the clock in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, they were still without a rookie talent to challenge the depth chart at wide receiver. Flournoy is a big, physical receiver whose goal is to often outmuscle and outjump defensive backs en route to making some phenomenal contested catches. He is literally one of the best athletes in the entire, not just Dallas, draft class, and his 9.88 grade on the relative athletic scale of 1 to 10 proves it. He's strong, fast, quick, and has the wingspan and catch radius to give CBs nightmares, often able to outmuscle and outjump defensive backs en route to making some phenomenal contested catches. One of the best athletes in the entire, not just Dallas, draft class, his 9.88 grade on the relative athletic scale of 1 to 10 proves it, and the battle for the role of WR3 and WR4 is what he'll be aimed at. Trades have been a hot topic for the Dallas Cowboys recently, and for good reason. With the front office showing hesitancy in paying market value for elite players such as CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, the idea of trading them continues to make the rounds. Now, a new name has been thrown into the mix thanks to Anthony DiBona of Pro Football Network. He listed one player from each franchise who could be a trade candidate and has the Cowboys shopping DeMarcus Lawrence. The idea of trading Lamb or Prescott is solely based on the inability of the front office to figure out how to pay them market value. DiBona's suggestion is outside the box, but it's all about freeing up that money to keep their key pieces intact. Dallas could actually save $10 million by trading Lawrence, which would free up more snaps for the Cowboys' young pass rushers. Dallas selected Marshawn Kneyland in the 2nd round of the 2024 NFL Draft, potentially signaling the end of Lawrence's tenure. DiBona, Pro Football Network. DiBona accurately calls Micah Parsons a foundational piece and believes the team's youth allows them to move on from Lawrence. In addition to Kneyland, the Cowboys also have Sam Williams, who has 8.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons. For as hard as he worked, Clark never took to the mic role. His instincts didn't fit cleanly, and his run fits weren't filled consistently. It was clear they miscast him in the middle, but without other options available, the Cowboys had to roll with it. In just a matter of months, Clark went from bright young star to weakness of the defense. It's understandable, the Cowboys made it a point to address the Mike spot over the offseason. In what was arguably their only notable signing, Dallas brought in Eric Kendricks to man the middle of Mike Zimmer's defense. Behind him will likely be Cowboys rookie, Marist Liufau, a promising third-round pick out of Notre Dame. While the additions of Liufau and Kendricks free Clark to move back to his natural position of will, another player may ultimately block his opportunities. Coming back from an ACL injury is second-year player DeMarvion Overshown. Overshown dropped jaws prior to his injury and is penciled in as the favorite to land the starting spot at will. Clark could certainly compete with Overshown, and snaps could be split between them in some way, but it's unlikely Clark can steal a majority portion from Overshown. It leaves Clark in an uncomfortable position. He can compete for a role alongside Overshown at will, or he can turn his attention to a different linebacker position without much competition. Strong side linebacker, Sam, could be that opportunity Clark is looking for. Outlook: the Manor, Texas, native is scheduled as the Week 1 starter at left tackle and is part of the beginning of the reboot of the offensive line. It started 2 years ago when the Cowboys drafted Tyler Smith at guard with a projection to move him to left tackle. But Smith's work at guard earned him his first Pro Bowl berth last year and stability at that spot. So Guyton was drafted to replace Tyron Smith, who signed a free agent deal with the Jets, and now with Zach Martin thinking of retirement, the youth movement is in full swing. I would say the biggest difference is the discipline that we are going to have this year, Hooker said on Keyshawn Johnson's All Facts, No Breaks podcast, via Ivan Lambert of USA Today. I love Dan Quinn, Hooker said. We still talk to this day. He's a big reason why I am still in Dallas to this day. There is a certain way you have to coach certain guys. I feel like because of how player-oriented DQ was, guys would relate to him, and he wouldn't have to coach a certain way that Zim does now. Mike Zimmer will give you a couple of chances to mess up. If you keep messing up and can't get it right, he is going to get somebody else in there. Dan Quinn, on the other hand, is more player-oriented. If something wasn't going right or we kept messing up, he'd level it down, make it easier for everyone to go out there and do what they were going to do. Cowboys CeeDee Lamb won't discuss contract questions at upcoming youth camp. CeeDee Lamb says his camp is about the kids. CeeDee Lamb is in the business of playing football. And the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver is one of the best in the NFL. However, at his youth football camps, business gets put aside. Lamb made it clear he won't be discussing contract questions at the camp. I'm not speaking about any contract negotiations. If that's your questions, Lamb posted on X, you'll get 0 answers. It's about the kids. And it should be, even when it's a player who dominated the world's best players in 2023. With an incredible haul of 181 targets, Lamb put together Texas-sized numbers of 135 catches for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. Talk about a career year. That's more like a career in a year. Therefore, the 4-year veteran naturally has the goods to demand more money. Where do CeeDee Lamb and Cowboys stand with contract talks? Lamb seeks, and should get, a lucrative long-term deal from the Cowboys. It won't help the team's salary cap situation, but, yeah, they have to break the bank to make Lamb happy. Minnesota's Justin Jefferson recently bagged a 4-year, $140 million deal that made him the NFL's highest-paid receiver. The Cowboys don't necessarily have to match that salary on an annual basis, but Lamb has to get in the $30 million per year range with Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Eagles, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lions, and Tyreek Hill, Dolphins. Without a doubt, Lamb is in that class. And the argument could be made he's number 2. Lamb is almost step for step with Jefferson, who is coming off an injury-plagued season. And Lamb's 2023 numbers were as good as Jefferson's 2022 campaign. Lamb is due close to $18 million for the 2024 season. Hey, good work if you can get it, under the fifth-year option of his rookie deal. But the Cowboys must rework his contract before the end of the season to avoid his pending free agency. Word out of Texas, according to DallasNews.com, is Lamb won't be around training camp without the proper funding. He already missed the entire offseason program. Head coach Mike McCarthy told DallasNews.com he's not concerned how a potential holdout would affect the 25-year-old Lamb. "I have no problems, no lack of confidence of our best being ready," McCarthy said.